Hello friends, and welcome to the wonderful world of Alice. Each afternoon, Joe Morris has been focusing on a different aspect from the make-believe world of Alice in Wonderland. In this third program, Alice gets caught up in a potentially fatal croquet match. Joe is in no such danger at Surbiton Croquet Club.
I started at work.
This is not fantasy, it's deadly serious.
And anybody come up to me, I say, sorry, I don't want to talk to you.
It's turned into my life.
And you call, good shot. And deep down inside, you're thinking, oh, drat.
Croquet's never violent. We don't threaten each other with our mallets.
You playing croquet with the Queen today?
I should like to very much, but I haven't been invited yet.
You'll see me there.
The Cheshire Cat suddenly vanished.
How seriously do you take it, Chris?
Completely seriously. It's one of the biggest parts of my life. And Terry has given up for a season because he didn't feel he was doing well enough. Don't think I could do that. I wouldn't have anything to do. Nothing that seemed as worthwhile.
It is ruthless. There is no way that you can relax or take pity on your opponent. You can't ever allow yourself to say, oh, poor underdog.
The game began. Alice thought she'd never seen such a curious croquet ground in her life. It was all ridges and furrows. The croquet balls were live hedgehogs and the mallets live flamingos.
Terry isn't your typical, what people would imagine a croquet player to be, is he? And you haven't even seen his tattoos, have you?
Just a bit different. I've always liked to do something different. So what I decided to do, I thought croquet, a few Vickers and cucumber sandwiches, but I got down here and it's not like that.
How do you feel when you're playing croquet?
If you're having a really bad day, it's frustrating. You just want to throw the mallet over the fence, which I've done a few times. Broke my mallet about 4 or 5 times throwing it on the ground. I'll try to keep out of the way of breaking ankles. But when you're playing well, and everything's coming off, you walk up the court and you feel $1 million.
Is this club a good place to meet women?
Plenty of women floating about. Yeah, no, it's not that sort of game, whereas you go up the local tennis club and men and women.
And do you know Celia, who they call Alice?
Oh, Alice, yeah, that's right, yeah. So she's a nice lady, yeah. Anagram of Celia.
And have you heard her croquet song?
Yeah, that's outrageous, yeah. If we haven't got a bad name already, we'll definitely have one as soon as I hear that. Makes you want to top yourself. No wonder I'm giving up croquet this year.
Are their heads off?
The heads are gone, if it please your majesty.
That's right. Can you play croquet?
The soldiers were silent and looked at Alice as the question was evidently meant for her.
Yes. Come on, then.
Do you ever feel sorry for your opponent?
No. No.
Not ever?
No. In a competition game, I'm willing them to do things wrong.
Does that worry you?
The Victorians took an instant liking to the game. In 1864, most of the London squares were set out as croquet lawns. It particularly allowed the ladies to slip their chaperones. And then, of course, there were all the shenanigans that could go on in the shrubbery where the balls were dispatched to with the greatest of delight. There was always a possibility that some young beau might help a young lady to retrieve her ball.
So it was a chance for sort of romance and a bit of snogging.
In the game of croquet, as we know it, there are no shrubberies, there are boundaries and boards.
If you're looking for a partner, I don't think croquet is the right place at all.
Why not?
Everybody's eccentric.
Are they?
I think so. We're all mad, yeah.
Well, they've told me that they're not, though.
Oh, no, I know. Well, they don't. Well.
How's it going, Terry? You don't look very happy.
Oh, it's all over this one. We'll have to try next game. Yeah, I was robbed by a massive big rabbit run at one back, so never mind.
Tell me about the Alice song. What you think? Can you say that Celia's got this, or Alice has got this song that she plays? Can you explain it and say what you think of it?
No, I don't think I should.
Really? Do you just not like it?
No.
What's wrong with it?
It's awful.
My name's Tim Dutton. I'm a lawyer by profession, and I play croquet because I like it. Also, the people who play croquet are, on the whole, very nice people.
Are they?
Yeah. If I'm going to win, I want to win quickly. No, well, I either want to win quickly and fast, or else I want to come from behind. The thing which is awful is where you're ahead and your opponent can't do anything. They keep messing everything up, and so you start feeling sorrier and sorrier for them. And so you start... It's not that you're actually desperately trying to help them out. What happens is you start taking risks you should never take, simply because you're thinking, well, it makes the game more exciting.
The chief difficulty Alice found at first was in managing her flamingo. She succeeded in getting its body tucked away comfortably enough under her arm, with its legs hanging down, but generally, just as she had got its neck nicely straightened out and was going to give the hedgehog a blow with its head, it would twist itself around and look up in her face with such a puzzled expression that she could not help bursting out laughing. And when she got its head down and was going to begin again, it was very provoking to find that the hedgehog had unrolled itself and was in the act of crawling away. And in a very short time, the Queen was in a furious passion and went stamping about and shouting, "Off with his head," or "Off with her head," about once in a minute.
They're dreadfully fond of beheading people here.
Yes, it's dreadful. I'm one of the old witches that has a cauldron, you know, frogs, dead rats, you name it. You stir it up, works wonderful.
Do you think you're a different person on the croquet lawn than off the croquet lawn?
No, that's the trouble. Oh, you hit on it there.
I read a recent article where one sports psychologist described croquet as an evil game played by fanatics.
It's no more evil than snooker.
In croquet, you're your own referee, so no one's watching you, and the whole thing depends on people not cheating. If you have a system like that, then there's no point in people cheating, because they may win, but so what have they achieved?
Yeah. So I hadn't realised we were going to red. Back to Mummy, I think.
Oh, bugger.
I spend almost all my leave playing croquet.
Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Have you got a girlfriend?
No, I'm single. Did once miss my girlfriend's birthday because I was playing in the inter-varsity match.
And she's no longer your girlfriend?
She's no longer my girlfriend.
There's a famous occasion at Guildford Croquet Club, which is next to the rugby pitch, when the rugby players went off because of the rain and we stayed on. Never forget it. The rugby players are wimps.
Have you heard her croquet song?
I've heard too much of Alice's croquet song.
But she hasn't hit it nearly hard enough.
It's a relief for me, really, you know.
A release? In what way?
Yeah, well, so you get pent up with your everyday emotion sort of thing. You whack a croquet ball about, gets rid of all your inhibitions.
What sort of things? What sort of things?
Well, you know, if you're angry with somebody, you can't really sort of let fly at them, so you come down here and it makes you feel lovely.
Historically, there have been women who've been dominant in the game. In fact, women are barred from playing in the men's championship because a woman won it so often.
Now, men and women can compete on equal terms, so therefore you can say it can become a battle of the sexes.
Is it a battle of the sexes sometimes?
Oh, yeah. Men don't like being beaten. One chap in particular threw his mallet down, kicked it up the lawn.
What did you do?
I just laughed.
Was that Terry?
No. Oh, no. He's a sweetie, Terry. No one says off with the heads. No way. We all keep our heads in the end.
Let's go on with the game.
Alice was too much frightened to say a word, but slowly followed her back to the croquet ground. All the time they were playing, the Queen never left off quarrelling with the other players, so that by the end of half an hour or so, there were no archers left, and all the players except the King, the Queen, and Alice were in custody and under sentence of execution.
We had an incident this year, not mentioning any names, down at the counties where one of the fellas, there was a fella in his line of view, you know, and he said, excuse me, he says, would you mind just moving to the side? Very polite, this fella's very polite bloke. Bloke went ballistic, you know, and he says, you're not the only bloke playing here. You know, he went mad. And afterwards, he went up to him and said, look, it must have been a misunderstanding, all I was asking you to do. He said, hang on a minute, mate. He said, no. He said, you know, I mean, you're not the only bloke staying, I can stay where I want and all this. And, you know, both of them are really nice fellas, so I don't know what happened there, but something happened there, yeah.
You're thinking about something, my dear Alice, and that makes you forget to talk. I can't tell you just now what the moral of that is, but I shall remember it in a bit.
Perhaps it hasn't got one.
Oh, tut, child, everything's got a moral, if only you can find it.
You can be anyone playing croquet. When I get out on the lawn, I'm not aware of anything else. It becomes almost like a cocoon, which you can forget all the troubles that you have in the rest of your life. It really can be quite...
Is this when you were filling in your fullers?
The transcendental.
Did your wife play croquet?
No, wives tend not to be the greatest devotees of the game. Croquet is something which can disrupt domestic life.
Does it disrupt your life?
For my purposes, it doesn't disrupt it at all. It is my life.
Next week I will bring along for you a book published by Tyneside Croquet that's called Joy Among the Hoops, and it's croquet a la Kama Sutra. The hoops are, you know, symbolic.
Yes, I get the general drift.
It's very good.
Oh, it's stock.
The game is going on rather better now.
Ah, 'tis so, and the moral of that is, oh, 'tis love that makes the world go round.
Somebody said it's done by everybody minding their own business.
Ah, well, it means much the same thing. I dare say you're wondering why I don't put my arm round your waist. The reason is that I'm doubtful about the temper of your flamingo.
He huffs and puffs quite a lot when he's playing, doesn't he, Terry?
Yeah. I've seen his mallet go in the hedge a few times. But when you see your opponent throw the mallet in the hedge, you know you're winning the mental battle.
As it, some people will never do things like that, like Fulford, who's down there, who's a world champion. When he plays a bad shot, he just looks amused, as if, no, I don't play shots like that. How could that have happened?
So would you actually try and wind up your opponent?
Yeah,
you can.
If you got the chance, definitely.
It's as enjoyable to play on your opponent's weaknesses as to play on your own strengths.
The tell is a good one to wind up always.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, you've got to just leave him lots of long shots all the time.
He just does it himself. He just winds himself up.
If you get him wound up at the start, then you know you've won.
So you can be quite evil then?
Yeah, but it's easy to be evil to tell. Go on, tell. Go on.
Go on, tell.
Straight through that hoop.
Hoop one.
Shot.
It's a vegetable. It doesn't look like one, but it is.
I quite agree with you, and the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be, or, if you would like it put more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others that what you were, or might have been, was not otherwise than what you had been, would have appeared to them to be otherwise.
You bastard!
We are the champions! I've got a croquet song which I actually bring to the club sometimes and play. I love the way it says it's such a lovely day for playing croquet.
It's such a lovely day for playing croquet. It's a beautiful day for a game of croquet. Show me a better way to spend your time.
In the next episode, Joe looks in the mirror and enters the bizarre world of Alice in Wonderland syndrome. She interviews psychologists, and we hear what it's like firsthand from fascinating case histories. For each of these programs, I'm singling out one aspect to talk about. And I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to go a bit negative on this one. The croquet program didn't really have a story. It's what we call a portrait. A portrait is what we call things when we don't have a story. It's a sort of excuse because, by and large, stories are always better. Another expression we use about programs without a story is that they are a trip round the bay. Trip round the bay, by its nature, is and then, and then, and then. In the next episode, we're really back with Alice in Wonderland.